Welcome, everyone, and we are here with another session to make your college application process easier. Today, we're going to be discussing college essays, and we have our wonderful presenter, Miss Cami Wolf from Fort Lauderdale High School, ready to discuss the college essay with you. Hi, Cami.
Hey, Shedley. Thanks,
Let's
guys.
get started.
Okay, here we go. We're going to talk about the college essay. I'm using slides that you guys can access directly from the College Board website. And the reason that I mention that is because on some of the slides, you are going to see links that you can open to get even more information about the college essay. And I'll point those out as we go through the presentation. So all you would have to do is go to your College Board account, look for the presentation called 8 Tips for Crafting Your Best College Essay. Okay, here we go. The college essay matters. Your essay reveals something important about you that your grades and tests can't, your personality. It can give admissions officers a sense of who you are as well as showcasing your writing skills. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, some colleges get over 40,000 applications. Many students that are applying to the same colleges that you're going to be applying to have the same test scores and same GPA that you do. So colleges need other tools to try to help them figure out who you are and who they want to choose to build their class. And one of the main things that they use is the college essay. Okay, so how to get started? You get started by brainstorming. Starting the essay can be the hardest part. Brainstorming about your personality traits and defining your strengths is a good place to begin. I can tell you from experience that the essay is the number 1 reason for procrastinating with the application. And unfortunately, the number 1 reason that some students don't even submit applications to colleges or scholarships that they want to. So don't let that happen to you. An ideal time to start the essay is the summer between junior and senior year. Don't wait for that busy fall senior semester when you are trying to apply to the colleges, take all of your senior classes, get that essay underway over that summer. A good place to go to check for what those essay prompts are going to be are on the 2 main application platforms. One is called the Common Application. The other one is called the Coalition. You can also go to the individual college websites to see if they have their own individual prompts that they want you to use. But the secret trick is that you can fit most any essay that you write into the prompts that the colleges are using. Okay, so how to begin? Let that first draft flow. After you've gathered your notes, create an outline to organize your essay and decide where you want your examples to appear. Now you're ready to write your first draft. Don't worry about making it perfect. Just get your ideas flowing and your thoughts down on paper. You'll fix mistakes and improve the writing in later drafts. So one of the most important phrases that people talk about when they're talking about writing the essay is show, don't tell. So in this slide where they're talking about where you want your examples to appear, that means in your essay, you're not going to say, I'm a curious person, I'm a dependable person. You're going to show them that you are those things by the examples that you give. Okay. Develop 3 essay parts. So to give your essay structure, you want it to have an introduction, a body, which is the paragraphs explaining the main idea with examples, and then a conclusion. Now, that does not mean that this is like a formal English essay. It's not. This is much more in your own voice, natural language, not big, English formal essay vocabulary words. But the reason we talk about 3 parts is that you make sure that it has a structure, that it's not rambling and wandering all over the place. Okay, very important to be specific. Give your essay focus by figuring out how the question relates to your personal qualities and then taking a specific angle. Make sure everything you write supports that viewpoint. And this is an example of what I meant about a link that you can open. The next sentence says, read about how some students conquered the essay. So if you're in your College Board website and you open up that link, Conquered the Essay, you'll see some students talking about the essay process. And by specific angle, we mean that your essay is not supposed to be a relisting of all of your accomplishments. You've already done that in the application itself. The essay is going to be sometimes even just a glimpse of your life, a story. A beautiful essay that I read once was about a student finding her grandmother's jewelry box, opening the box and finding special things inside that reminded her of her connection to her grandmother throughout her life. So that essay didn't talk about her extracurriculars or her GPA, but it gave the reader a beautiful view about her life. So just remember that it doesn't have to be a recap of everything about you. Okay, find that creative angle. Catherine, a college freshman, had to describe why she would make a good Reed College student for that school's essay. She said, I am a huge fan of Beat Generation writers, and many of the West Coast beat writers attended Reed, she said. So I related my love for writing and the beats to why I would be a great fit for the school. So in this essay, Catherine has gone on to connect something about her to the school that she's hoping to go to. Now, for a lot of the schools that you apply to, you're going to have that one main essay, and this is especially if you're applying to some out-of-state or private schools, but then you're going to have a second essay about why you feel that you're a good fit for that particular college. And this is an example of a good way of a student connecting herself to the school through something she found of a connection between her and that school. Your passion is going to come through if you do that. Okay. Be honest. The essay question might ask you about your best quality, an experience that shaped you, or the reason that you want to attend a certain college. Don't be tempted to write about what you think the admissions officers want to hear. Answer the question honestly. Now, this is really true. Your passion will come through in an honest essay. If you try to write what you think the reader wants to hear, it's going to be a very boring and generic essay, just like everybody else's. Don't be afraid that what you have to say isn't important or interesting to the reader. Okay, get feedback. Show your draft to family, friends, or teachers. Ask if it makes sense and sounds like you. Consider their feedback and make changes, but keep your voice. High school senior Dana warns, make sure the essay is in your own voice. If at some point you read over your essay and hear your mother's voice, something is wrong. And trust me, after 8 years of reading college essays, I can tell within 3 sentences whether the parent sat down and wrote the essay or whether the 17 or 18-year-old student wrote it. Colleges want your voice, not the voice of an adult. Show your essay to your brace advisor, your English teacher, whoever you trust to read it to get feedback. Okay, may seem obvious, but you would be surprised how many people don't do this. Proofread and make corrections. Read your essay over carefully to check for typos and spelling and grammar errors. It's best to ask someone who hasn't seen it yet to take a look as well. They're likely to see mistakes you won't catch. A very common mistake, especially if you're using an essay for a lot of different colleges, is don't forget to leave the name of the wrong college in the essay. I've been, dying my whole life to go to FSU. You do not want to be in your FAM essay. Okay, make sure that you find the balance between sounding like a thesaurus, but on the other hand, sounding too casual. Don't use a lot of contractions, won't, shouldn't, it's. So the balance between formal and informal is the best place that you want to be. Formatting, I want you to make sure that if you're copying and pasting, when you paste it into the application, make sure that the formatting hasn't gotten messed up. Get your paragraphs back in order, get your indentations back in order before you submit it. This slide is showing you how you can find more information on the College Board essay about on the College Board website about the essay. I want to talk to you about a few more things. You're not going to see additional slides, but just a couple of things that I want to mention. Examples of good essay topics. One that I like is kind of a slice of life, like a day in your life. Some kids start it by hitting the alarm clock at whatever hour you wake up. If you have a busy, action-packed kind of day, let the reader know about that. Let them know that you go from, getting on the bus, and taking a long ride to your high school, to getting into all of your busy classes and then going on to water polo or swimming practice, and then on to homework, and maybe even on to your job. That's the kind of thing that they want to get a glimpse of about you. Family challenges. If you help with your siblings or your grandparents, please let them know, and the essay is a good place to talk about that. If your job is an important part of your life and you feel like you've grown in terms of responsibility in your job, this is a good place to expand upon that experience in your life. Family culture, that's kind of like the jewelry box example I gave with the student and her grandmother. Feel free to talk about if your family came from another country and how you kind of bridge the divide between life in the place your family came from and now being here in South Florida. And now a couple of things to maybe avoid. Talking about sports injuries is very common in college essays. I wouldn't say don't do it. I would just say take a little care that you have your own spin on it, because it is a very common thing to talk about. Okay, if you are talking about a family member or a challenge, please remember that the bulk of the essay should not be about the challenge or the family member. As much as you love that family member, or as important as that challenge was to you, like maybe a physical ailment or something, the bulk of the essay should be about how you overcame that adversity and how you grew from it. So just a little bit in the beginning of the essay about the adversity or the family issue itself, and then the bulk of the essay about how you grew from that experience. Okay, so now that you have a toolbox of things to do, I want you guys to get out there, start that essay. It's never too soon, and good luck, and we're here for you. Take care.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, Ms. Wolf, for sharing those wonderful essay tips and tactics. Students, it's time. If you haven't started your essay process, again, it's time. Get started now. Whether it's a college essay or a scholarship essay, let's get started. The best thing about this session is that you can listen to this session over and over and over as many times as you want until you're comfortable to get started. So thank you again, Ms. Wolf, and we will see you next time in the next session. Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.